Okay, so I have here my good friend Will Hahn. All right, I'll drink some water. All right,
Hello.
so Will, can you please introduce yourself?
Hello, my name's Will. I am a yo-yoer from California. Good friends with Christian. He's been my yo-yo buddy since 2013. I think I actually may have met a little earlier than that, 2012, 2013.
Maybe 2012.
2013 is when we really started being really good friends. 2012, we
Mhm.
may have crossed paths a little, but still were just feeling each other out at that point. Yeah, yo-yo player from California. I have run Yolex Yo-Yo Club and I'm a member of Monkey Finger Design. As far as between those two, I've been running Yolex since I used to work at a toy store called Learning Express Toys. So I started back in 2011 and carried through till mid 2014. Yeah, mid 2014. Stopped working at the store, but I still run the club a little bit. If you see the Yolex Roseville Instagram, that's me running it. Along with that, I am a member of Monkey Finger Design, which I started. I was invited to be a member of that team early 2014, so that was a really eventful year. And stuck on there ever since. I've been, I think at this point, I think I'm the longest tenured member. I think it's
Oh,
had a fair amount of roster shift over time, but I think I've been there by a little bit, just a little bit the longest. And on the team, I have done a variety of contests. I have competed in the California State Contest, Bay Area Classic, Nationals, and had a variety of success and not so much success there. 1A has been kind of a casual side of my yo-yoing career. 5A is where I've been a little more serious, and through 5A I've actually been able to win a few of the contests, Cal States, BAC, Nationals. I think I got top 5 a couple times, so it's been a pretty good ride there. Aside from the competition side, I've also worked with Monkey Finger to develop products. So it's been lately what my ventures have been with the company there. As the California contest scene's been a little bit in wishy-washy state the last few years. I've transitioned from less competing and more to yo-yo design, because inevitably the design stuff is what I've always taken more of a liking to. So I've developed a few yo-yos, a few products as well. Some products have not been released, be coming up soon. I'll give you a little bit of a preview of that a little bit later here. But yeah, it's a little bit about myself in the yo-yo world. And outside of that, I work for a university and I teach engineering there, and haven't found a way to work yo-yos into that, but at some point I'll try and work in a few examples or something along those lines.
okay, nice. Thank you for that introduction. So you mentioned that you were working at a toy store and then you were helping with this Yolex Yo-Yo Club. Is that where your passion for yo-yos started?
Kind of, yeah. It's before that I only played with yo-yos as a kid and I was never good at them, mainly because I never learned how to use them properly. As simple as a toy as it seems, there are ways you can actually set it up wrong and use it improperly, as silly as that might seem. So as a kid, I did try it and didn't really work out because using them wrong didn't feel right. Fast forward to when I was 19 years old, started working at this toy store, hadn't picked up a yo-yo in probably at least a decade and never really tried to do anything serious with one. And I don't know what made her do it, but manager at the time, I think, is now current manager. They're transitioning again. So I think, anyway, it's Colleen. Colleen, she's one who was managing the store at the time. Her son Corey was working there, and they interacted with Corey a little bit, and we've been getting to click a little bit there. And then Colleen comes in within my first week. She says, "Will, you're going to learn how to yo-yo," and has Corey set me up with a freehand zero that day and shows me how to throw properly and string it properly. And it just kind of took off from there. After that, I learned a trick from Corey that day. Over the weekend, I cruised through the internet and found a few tutorials. I think they were off Yo-Yo Expert with Andre's old tutorials, and kind of just took off from there, and it really just stuck. And I've always been a very tactile person, so once I found out I could actually do this and had actual enjoyment out of the first few tricks, it just kind of snowballed from there and went into what it's become pretty much.
Nice, nice.
So all of this
So
is pretty much blame Colleen for it. She's pretty much the
blame
one who
Colleen.
I don't know
Okay.
why she decided that I was gonna learn how to play with the yo-yo, but she's like, "Well, you're gonna learn how to," and she just gave me one and had Corey show me the ropes and just went from there. I don't know why. She just said, "Do
Uh,
it."
that's just her personality. She just
Pretty much.
pushes things on you, and it actually works most of the
Yeah.
time. That's good. That's good. So uh, earlier you said that we met around 2012, 2013. I do
So
believe
like that.
yes, 2012, like late 2012 is when we met because I remember buying a yo-yo off of Amazon, like September or August of 2012, and then I showed up to one of the Yolex meets like a few months after. But I think yeah, you're right. Where we didn't really interact until 2013. But I want to ask you, when we first met, what were your initial like reactions or thoughts of me, and also like since I was there with my friend or our friend Ben. So what were your thoughts of us? You know.
I thought you guys are cool. I didn't really know. I mean, I'm more of an introvert, so I didn't really open up as quickly. But you guys were, especially you in particular, more wanted the extrovert type and interact and hang out a bit. So I thought you guys were cool, but I was kind of closed off to myself. So it took you a little bit of nudging to get me to hang out and do stuff afterward, but eventually did take that step out there, and I do appreciate the little bit of the push there. So I thought you guys were cool, and thought you were, as far as my normal friend circle, where you were a little different in that you wanted
Mhm,
to actually like be a little more adventurous, and
mhm.
so that was actually kind of fun to mix into a friend circle, and it worked out pretty well. We're still chatting 7, 8 years later, so
All
it was
right, yeah.
all for good, I guess.
Yeah. So it's funny like that you called yourself a little bit introverted. Like now that I know you, yeah, I can definitely tell that you're introverted. But I think when I first met, I felt like maybe you weren't so introverted just because like of how you interacted with the people who were there. And I'm like, oh, this guy's easy to approach and talk to. Like I can learn from him and like get some tips. And that's kind of how it started on my end to like try to talk to you more and like try to get you to hang out and like teach me stuff.
Yeah,
So yeah, I think like if I didn't see you initially react to the other people there like in such a outgoing way and helpful way, I probably wouldn't have tried to talk to you.
yeah,
But since I did see you like interact with people, I'm like, okay, I think this guy's easy to talk to and easy to approach because like really I am pretty introverted also. It's
yeah,
just if I have a good feeling about a person who I feel like I can just kind of talk to easily, then I'll try to talk to them, and then I'll become extroverted towards them. But like towards other people, I am more introverted. So
yeah. It's like for me, it's like again, going back to Colleen, we were talking about things once, and I was talking about the introvert side thing, and she said I was an introvert that functions well in an extrovert environment, which I sort of see that. I'm not as much one to initiate conversation and initiate interaction, but I can keep it going. So I think that's where that sort of environment with the Skill Toy Club, it was something where it's like I didn't really initiate it, but it was something I could keep it going. So
mhm.
after that, it was you had a better time initiating interaction and such. So I think that's what kind of pushed things was you kind of said, "Hey, let's go hang out," or
Yeah,
let's go to Florida for a yo-yo contest," and just
yeah,
took off from
yeah,
there.
definitely. Well, speaking of Florida, that's onto the next topic I want to talk about. That's where I think you and I really got to like become better friends is when we went to Florida for the World Yo-Yo Contest. This was what 2013, I believe.
Yeah,
That was the very last World Yo-Yo Contest in Florida. So, what was like? Can you talk about like your thoughts of that experience? Like just the overall trip. So
it
what
was
what
it,
was your thought?
it was a lot. I mean, early on, like before the trip started, I was a little I don't know about nervous, but a little anxious about it because I'd never even flown on a plane or gone on a trip like that
Oh,
extensive. So
oh,
I
okay.
was breaking a whole lot of new ground, and I was going to the ultimate yo-yo contest. That was the most competitive. There's international competitors and all that. So, and also it's just the world contest is more than a contest; it's more like a convention where it's not just here's a bunch of people competing on stage. It's also here are a bunch of booths with a bunch of companies with their new products, prototype products, like things you would never see online or in a store. And it was just a lot. And then also just doing a little vacation experience. Hadn't really done a whole lot of venturing outside of the West Coast realm. I mean, I had gone to the Northwest and bounced around California a bit, but never really outside of that. So there was a lot to really take in at the front, just up front. But like getting into it and just getting into rhythm with everything and just getting around, realized it wasn't as treacherous to get around as I initially thought it might have been. I thought it would be a little more difficult, but it was actually like, oh, just hop on the bus. It goes right down there. Or there was a cab, just get a cab, go over there. It was, or just walk. We walked a lot of places, which Florida during the summer wasn't the best experience, but we did it.
Yeah.
But
Definitely.
yeah, it was up front. It seemed like it was a lot to take on because it was a lot of firsts. But like as we were like going through it and everything, it was a lot of fun and just contest was really great. Interacting with the different people was great. Having to be there with someone instead of going by myself. So I know some people just go on their own and rendezvous there. It was nice to have someone to travel with and also to hit up Universal Studios after with.
Uh-huh.
That was also nice too. The only thing I didn't like about the trip was the humidity, which I thought was ironic that we got accustomed to it on like the last day and then we left.
Yeah.
It's Florida in the summer. I can understand why people weren't as keen on that year after year. So I always wondered why people were not as big a fan as the contest in Florida for a variety of reasons, but weather would probably be one of my pet peeves because I could deal with heat, but moist heat was a whole nother, was whole something else.
Yeah, definitely. I feel you on that, especially like so that type of feeling, that humidity, also exists here in Japan. So when I went to the Tokyo Worlds, it was pretty much the same type of thing. It was miserable. It was very miserable. All right. So as a yo-yo competitor, you said you do 1A and 5A, but your main competition area is 5A, correct?
Yeah.
Counterweight. That's the counterweights division. What got you into doing that style?
As far as why I got into 5A, it was combination of things. I think I got it to about two years into yo-yo, and at that point I'd been growing pretty well with 1A, but I hit a bit of a plateau about 2 years in. It was 2013. That was about the year, and I was kind of just hitting a wall with it and just kind of stuck. Couldn't really learn many new, or couldn't really come up with any new concepts I really liked. So it's kind of getting stagnant there. And at that point, Corey was getting into 4A. So for those watching, Corey is Colleen's son, and he is the three of us, Christian, Corey, and I, are kind of like a yo-yo trio sort of thing, I guess you could say. I don't know. Three of us hang out. You would hang out a lot. But yeah, Corey was he was getting into 4A and was excelling really well at that, trying something different than 1A, and it kind of made me think I want to try something different, and he kind of pushed me to try 5A along with Gunnar and Peter. But it's pretty much a whole bunch of people that's like, hey, you should try doing something different because you're getting a little bored with 1A, and trying something a little different to spice things up would be pretty interesting. So it's a combination of the pressures there, 1A getting stagnant, and about that time I also discovered Jonathan Robinson, and his technical 5A, which isn't very competitive, but it's super cool to watch. And I thought, that's awesome. I want to try that. And I just tried a few of the basic counterweight passes, which weren't as foundational. So I kind of learned things out of order, but stuff I really liked and just kind of stuck with it. And after I did the John Robb stuff for a bit, decided to go back and learn the foundational stuff. And I was able to build up a more stable platform from there, and just kind of stuck with it after that. It was a combination of things.
Nice. So let's now talk about your sponsorship with Monkey Finger Design. How did that come about? Like, how did they notice you, and how did they reach out to you and all that stuff?
Chris Allen just randomly messaged me one day. That's literally how it happened.
Okay.
So while I was doing the Yolex thing, well, I still am affiliated with Yolex, but like the days where I was still working at the toy store, that's where while I was still there, Chris Allen, also known as Dr. Yoyo, who used to run yoyoskills.com, he at that time was still running Yo-Yo Skills, and he had me featured on the website as a writer a few times. So he knew me personally and knew what I could do as a yo-yo player, and he was watching my progress. So at that point, I was a couple years in and was still progressing at a relatively good pace, and still was really into it. So he was approached by Ray of Monkey Finger Design, so Monkey Finger Ray, so some people might know him. Ray was looking for some new members, and so he reached out to Chris because Ray he's got his finger on the pulse of the community. He's not saying he's not, but he's still, as far as finding talent, he didn't really have a good gauge of who would be essentially a free agent that would be worth looking into, because he wanted to invest in people who were going to grow up into the yo-yo scene a bit more. It's not, so he wanted to look for, people who were looking to grow into it, and some people who were a little more under the radar. And so Chris reached out to me because I was progressing well, but was still a little more under the radar, since I was more working with yo-yo at a local level rather than a internet or wider spread, I guess. I don't know. But he reached out to me there, and he says, "Hey, you want to be sponsored?" I'm like, "Sure." And he's like, "Hey, let me set up a Facebook chat with the guy who's looking for people to get sponsored by," and then start off a chat on Facebook between the three of us. And Chris left the chat, so it was just Ray and I talking, and it just we were able to chat pretty well. And things like seemed like we were pretty cool with each other, so it just kind of took off from there and became part of the team that day, and just kind of progressed from there. So just one day, right before, like a couple hours before, where Chris Allen's like, "Hey, got a minute? You want to get sponsored?" And there you go. Just very out of the blue.
Nice. That's really cool. So, as a member of this team, you had some input on like a couple yo-yo designs. What were those yo-yos, and what did you specifically do to help influence those designs?
First one I was involved with was the Tribe, and that was our Monkey Finger's first collaborative design with, well, not collaborative, shouldn't say, team design. Collaborative is like with other companies. This was designed in-house by all the members. At that point, all the other designs were primarily between Ray and he had another guy. There was another guy who was with Monkey Finger for a while. His name was Todd, and Todd's not with the. I think he still communicates with Ray, but he's not officially like part of the team anymore. But it was mostly Ray, Todd, and after Todd was kind of phasing out, Chris to an extent as well, because Chris was kind of person that Ray brought on to kind of be up there as brand co-manager, I guess. I don't know what to say it. But yeah, so at most point it was mostly Ray and either Todd or Chris, or Todd and Chris for the design work at that point. So that Tribe was the first one where the entire team was putting in things that they wanted to have in a yo-yo design. That was first one where everyone was involved. And weirdly enough, initially the Tribe design started without Ray's knowledge. It kind of started as a under the radar, just kind of a side project where when Tyler Jorgensen, he's still on the team, and initially when he joined, he was kind of a springboard for a lot of ideas. So he put myself, a few of the other team members in a chat and said, "Hey guys, let's make a team design," and just randomly out of the blue, we're like, okay. And I have ready access to SolidWorks since with my job. So I was like, okay, well, just give me ideas. I'll draw it up. And for those who are watching who haven't designed a yo-yo before, it's not terribly difficult to design one. It's hard to design a good one that plays well and feels well, but just setting up a yo-yo, you make a sketch, you spin the sketch, and then you make two, then you have one half of the yo-yo, so then you just make two halves, and that's it. So it's pretty easy to make one. To make a good one, it's more to it. But I was like, okay, I can draw it up, just give me ideas, and we decided on dimensions, different things we wanted, us rims and everything. And then one day Ray sent us all a message like, "Hey guys, let's make a team yo-yo." It's like, oh, well, here's one we've been working on under your nose, and it's like, great, it's like 85% done, and we kind of just carried on from there. So as far as that was concerned, that was a very collaborative team effort. There wasn't really anyone who had an overbearing influence on the design. It was my mouse drawing it, so I was like, I had a lot of control over it, but all the features were decided on by the group. As the guy working the mouse, I did more of the fine tuning more than anything, and ended up with a mid-size yo-yo that was super comfortable in the hand and very fast. I was surprised how nimble the thing was for the amount of rims it had. But yeah, it was very quick, nimble yo-yo with still a good amount of stability. And that was the first one. Second one I had input on was Conspiracy, and that was another team design. That was a few years later. That was a competition-oriented throw. So that one had more of the wing shape. It had beefier rims to it, so it had a more powerful spin. It still had some characteristics of the initial Tribe, so it still had a type of shape that made it be nimble, but still stable and full size, so it can be competition ready and handle more high caliber stuff. The Tribe was really good for a lot of tricks, but if you pushed its limit with big tricks, it couldn't really hold up quite as much. So it was those two. So they're both team designs. One was more of a casual, middle of the road type of throw. The other was competition oriented. And then the third one was my own, the Aotis, which had my own personal spin, which was a little oversized for 5A. It had the same rims as the Tribe, weirdly enough, because the Tribe delivered a really good balance of speediness and stability with the rims. Had the straight walls and then a conical shape in the middle to give it a more of a solid feel on the string, like the Caesar, because I used the Caesar for so many years, and I like the cones in the middle because of the feel it delivered. So yeah, those are the three that I had direct influence on. 2 team throws, one was mine, and lately Ray and I have been working on developing a counterweight as well, and that's almost done. So that'll be something to keep an eye out for.
Nice. So a side question. For the monkey finger yo-yo player, like the team members, are there any other members who are, I guess, more focused towards 5A, such as like yourself, or are they all like just variety of styles?
A little bit of variety. Most are catering to 1A. As far as 5A, there's myself, and we have a new member called Andrew. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. It's either Freitag or Freitag, but he's got added to the team probably within the last month, and he's primarily a 5A player, and he's been a really cool guy, and he's I don't remember his tag on Instagram, but he's pretty active on there, and he's been working his way up the 5A ladder, and it's been got a lot of good stuff, a lot of big tricks, which I kind of envy because I do a lot of more compact stuff, so that's kind of cool. And it's so yeah, he's been great to bounce off a lot of 5A ideas and design ideas off of as we go through.
Nice, that's awesome. All right. So you mentioned your signature yo-yo. You have the how do you pronounce it again? Aotis? Is
Yeah,
that right?
that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the Aotis. So I have here what was sent to me from you and Ray. I believe this is the Aotis. I have yet to open it, so let's open it right now. All right. I'm very excited just because I haven't seen any pictures. I tried my best not to look at the Instagram
Oh, really?
pictures of this.
Oh, he's put up a couple of
I have no idea which color this would be either. I think I only looked at the very initial the very first post of this yo-yo, where I think he showed the 3 different colors or 4 different colors, and that's all I saw. I didn't look at anything else after that, because I think there have been newer ones too, right? At least one.
Yeah. So there was the initial run, and I don't know how many. Ray expands the colors on yo-yos after the first run. He expands the color variety very fast, but the one that you have there is a very special, particular one that you're going to see. And
okay.
Yeah.
So I have okay. So I have the triangle box here. This is This is the standard monkey finger package, right?
Yep.
Is there a reason why it's a triangle?
Ray just likes to do things differently. It's always been that way. The original ones were like a regular box with an open top as a triangular shape, but those didn't hold up very well, so he switched to the side open one, and they are really heavy duty. I'm kind of surprised he ramped it up to that sort of quality box.
Ooh, okay. Let me pull this out. Oh, this is so cool. Are those stickers?
Yeah.
You have stickers? Yo, this is awesome. Dude. Whoa. And this string is nice too.
Yeah.
All right. Got that Hahn signature on there. That's so cool.
Yeah, and I never touched that Yoyo. That's anodized into it. So I don't know how Ray does it, but he is able to anodize specific patterns. So I sent him a scan of my signature, and he threw it on the Yoyo. So
that's so cool.
So that won't rub off.
Nice. It won't rub off.
Nope. Yeah, for those who never had a Yoyo autographed, if you do, the signature rubs off in about 10 minutes. Play with it, so it's always tricky.
That's why I stopped playing with a lot of the Yoyos that were signed.
Yeah.
Just because it will come off or it will like blur. This is so cool. This is a nice color. It's a really nice purple. I love it. It's not too often that I feel like it's not too often to have a purple Yoyo. So that's really cool. So what is this? The stickers. I love stickers. They're so cool. The Aotis sticker. Who designed this logo? Like just who designed the logo?
Initially, the idea was something I had in my head where it's like if you're running through a forest with a flashlight, you're kind of lost. And it's the idea was you come to an opening and you shine the flashlight and there's some big scary monster type of thing. So it's like, so you shine the light, there's the name, and in the background, you actually see, if you look in the trees, there's a bunch of little red eyes from like the other.
I saw.
There. But as far as who drew it up, it's one of Ray's art buddies or art contractor. I'm not exactly sure. It's someone Ray knows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, someone who does a lot of the other artwork as well.
Oh, that's really cool. Ooh, there's more goodies in this box. Yo, trading card of Rob Weinstock. Rob is so cool.
Yeah.
Rob is, he's so cool. I think I met him once when I went to see the very first Vegas Open, I believe. Yeah.
There. He's located around there, so
this is cool, Rob. And I got the professor. Yeah, I think it would have been so funny if you were wearing this shirt right now for this interview. That's awesome. Yo. So I don't know anything about like math and stuff, but I assume these equations have some kind of significant like importance. Like, is there something important about them, or is it just fun equations or random?
I think they're just equations. I don't think that had any specific influence on the Yoyo stuff, but it was when Ray sent me the proofs for that. I didn't tell him what equations to put on, but the equations like, these are legit. They didn't just randomly put A equals B plus 2, 3, 4 or something like that. So I was actually impressed with that. They actually did the homework there.
That's really cool. Ooh, nice little bio here. Pretty much all the same stuff that you're talking about. That's cool. What else is in this box? Is this a patch? An iron-on patch?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Whoa. And what is this? Is this like lube?
I think that is the buff. So that's a polishing compound. So over time, it's grimy or anything like that. You just polish the buff to polish up a shine back into it and make it look a little more new. Because over time, you might lose a little bit of the luster that's made to restore it a bit.
Nice. I don't know if you can see it clearly on the camera, but it's so cool that the cloth itself, the cloth has the monkey finger like logo on it.
Yeah.
And like embroidered on. That's really cool. That's so cool. What is this now? Tell me what this is? Is this just like a paperweight or something? Like I honestly don't know what this is.
It's a little like kind of a tactile fidget toy button type of thing. I think it's something that Ray just started incorporating in, and I'm still kind of he develops a lot of new products to package in very quickly. So I'm still catching up with those. But those, I think it's like something you maneuver through your fingers, like a little like a coin type of thing.
Ah, I see.
I think. I might be wrong.
What is this? Uncaged. You know
Oh,
what
that
this is?
is, I believe, that might be relating to the Megalari side of Monkey Finger.
Oh,
Not exactly sure. That might be what it's catering towards.
I see. And another iron on patch. This is so cool. That's so awesome. So thank you for this Yo-Yo, Will, and Monkey Finger array. This is so cool. So about this specific one, or like this style of it, this color, was this your decision or was this Ray's decision?
That was mine. Yeah. So the color with that was, it's made to, I don't think it's an exact copy of it, but the prototype of Aotis I was using were a similar colorway to that, and I used that for all like the promo footage and all the different pictures and stuff that I shot, but it wasn't part of the initial run. What Ray does with a lot of the prototypes for the Yoyos is that he'll try different colorways and just to see how they work before he puts them to market. And so that was the prototype one I used. The purple one was one I really liked, and I picked out the colors for it, but we weren't sure if it was going to work out, so we didn't put it on the first run. But a lot of people in the promotional videos and stuff were commenting, it's like, what's that color? Can I get that color? Blah, 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 blah. So we decided, okay, well, we'll actually throw it on some Yoyos. So that one is the same or close to the same color as what's on my prototype ones.
Mm-hmm.
It might be slightly tweaked to be a little more vibrant because the prototype one had some little mudded areas to it that were not so great looking.
Mm-hmm.
So it's essentially I think that one with the signature on it is going to be called the Signature because as a signature, and also it's the colorway that I designed and Ray kind of refined over a couple of iterations. So yeah, that was my choice there, and for the signature ones, it was like people really wanted this colorway, and that's kind of my personal one. So let's tie it all together, and there we go.
Are there any other signature Yo-Yos for Monkey Finger, or is the Aotis the only one?
There are not many. There are a couple. The first one was the Forte, which was, I think, Monkey Finger's like third Yo-Yo. That was Mike Montgomery's. That was early 2010s. I think it was like 2011, 2012. And that was a really interesting, slim, unresponsive Yo-Yo. It was only like 36 millimeters wide. So it's like as wide as a G5. If you ever played a G5, you know that's a very slim
That's
Yo-Yo.
pretty thin, yeah.
Yeah, but without Z-stacks, it really, because G5, you might not notice how thin it is because you're concentrating on the Z-stacks. Forte didn't have stacks. You just were focused on how thin of a Yo-Yo it was. That was a tricky one to play because it wasn't very wide, but it felt amazing on the string. It was a super fun Yo-Yo. The other signature Yo-Yo that we've had was the Primate, and that was Tyler's Yo-Yo. That was a more organic 8 shape that it was like 2014 somewhere. It was right. It was soon after the Tribe, I think. Yeah, so it's a not quite full size, but close to it with a sort of heavy H rims on it. Very organic shape to it. I think there's those two, and I think that was it. We had the Offstring. That was a collaboration with Jeremy, and I think that may have been a signature, but I'm not sure. That was a very, that was a different project. That was a very odd project. So it was collaborative and Offstring, which we hadn't done before. So I don't remember what exactly.
Who are the Offstring players on Monkey Finger? Is it just the one person, John Narum?
Yeah, right now it's just John. We had Mike Goody and I think kind of parted ways at a certain point. Yeah, it's John Narum right now, and John's John. If you're India, you've probably seen his name around. Former world champion, national. I don't know if he won nationals, but he's absolutely a stud with the Yo-Yo. So honestly, I was surprised he joined because it was just like this guy has so many accolades. But
yeah,
he's on a team and he does the 4A stuff, and he's very on top of promoting the yo-yo and everything too. So he does a lot of along with his comedy bits, he still goes around and does a lot of yo-yo routines and everything.
Yeah. I've seen some of his posts on Facebook about like just trying to promote his comedy bit as well as like yo-yo stuff, and it seems like he does a pretty good job promoting everything that he does. So
yeah, he's great.
I feel like he's a good addition to the Monkey Finger team to like promote pretty much anything really.
Oh yeah, he's a jack of all trades. There's 3A and I don't know about 2A. We probably won't make a 2A yo-yo anytime soon, so I don't think that matters. But yeah, 1A, 3A, 4A, 5A. He does a little bit of everything.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. All right, so let's just wrap this up. I want to know your what are your future thoughts or your goals for yo-yo in general, or with Monkey Finger? Like, can you tell me about that?
As far as yo-yo in general, as far as the competition side, I'm not sure how much more I'll do there. I mean, as times progress, I've gone from working at a toy store to teaching at a university and living in a house and everything. So it's gone from being essentially a high school kid transitioning to college to full-on adult. So it's like as far as time for competing in yo-yo, that time's got very limited the last few years. And California contests have been a little bit been in a weird flux in terms of transitioning between hands. So they've been a little, well, also the pandemic, but also kind of in a weird transition state. So as far as competing, I'm not sure how much more I'll do. Maybe I'll still tag in here and there, but I'll be more on the still catering more towards the 5A side and probably be more on the performance-oriented side rather than the technical, try and win it, rack up as much points. I'll leave that to other people. I mean, by other people, I mean Josh E. to take care of that business.
Yeah.
Just kidding, Josh is cool. As far as the design work, I've been really enjoying the design side of things. So it's like last couple things I've been doing with Monkey Finger have been more design-oriented, whether it be the Aotis and the counterweight that Ray and I have been putting together. It's been a lot of fun doing that just because that's been a natural thing for me to really enjoy. I always like making things, whether it be yo-yo tricks or physical things. So, and seeing, if you've never designed a yo-yo before, seeing that sort of product just come to life, especially the first time, is really just like, it's really special. Just seeing something you draw up and see it actually be made, especially when it goes to market. That's when it's really just, it's unreal just seeing that actually happen. It goes from a personal project to something where people are interested and actually want a piece of it. So I've really enjoyed that. And as far as my future in yo-yo, competition's probably going to be a bit more sparse, but I do like to be involved and I do like to make things. So I'm going to try to see what I can do to contribute to that end, and also do more of the video side too, because that's been, if I still like to do the yo-yo stuff, not just design things. So I still like to make tricks and everything. But it's been nice to actually take more of a step in a creative direction with the tricks instead of just trying to make a bunch of click-heavy tricks or trying to always synchronize to routine, which is always fun. But at the same time, I started playing yo-yo because I had fun making tricks and doing tricks, not because I wanted to win contests. So at the heart of it,
I hear you on that.
That's why I started yo-yoing, and that's what stayed true the most. Is the competition side's been fun, but at the same time, it hasn't been what's kept me glued into it. So yeah,
I see.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you very much, Will, for chatting with me and let me do this interview with you, and thank you for this yo-yo. I really appreciate it. I'm going to treasure it forever, just like some of the other stuff that you've given me. I'm going to treasure it. I'm going to put it in like a plastic case and maybe put it on display somewhere.
I'll still play it.
I'll definitely play it like once or twice, and then I'll put it up on the shelf.
Throw it once, spins good.
Yeah. No vibe? Okay, we're good.
Perfect.
All right. Thank you, Will. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for being such a good friend with all this, too. I wouldn't be this far in the yo-yo world without the help of my friends. I mean, a lot of it's been, I cite a lot of the people I work with Yolex and Monkey Finger. At the end of the day, the friends who have kept me going this whole way have been a big part, too. And you're one of those that's really been up at the forefront there.
Means a lot, man. That means a lot. Oh, I feel the love.
Good.
All
So
right,
my love
man.
for overseas is that strong.
Definitely. All right. Thanks, man.
Of course.